Also, welcome to the Coastside Fire Protection District Board of Directors, regular board meeting, September 24, 2025. Roll call, please, Gene.
Director Cockrell,
Here.
Director Hannah,
Here.
Director McKinney,
Here.
Director Cheryl, President Byrd.
Here. Please join me for the pledge of allegiance. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Are there any members of the public who would like to comment at this time, please?
Yes. See that.
Please introduce yourself too.
Absolutely. Good afternoon. Thanks for letting me get up here and speak. My name is Barbara LeVay. I'm a citizen of Montera, and I'm here on behalf of a small little volunteer committee, the Montera Art and Music Festival Committee. We've had our 12th annual parade or festival this last Sunday from 11 to 4. We welcomed about 1,000 people through. We had about 45 vendors, 10 bands. It was pretty amazing. We've been doing this just with 4 volunteers all these years. And this year we got a little surprise because, we always get a permit. We've always gotten a permit to close off this one block, the 400 block on the 5th Street in Montera. But this year we kind of got hit with the surprise where we were going to pay $304 for a permit fee to CAL FIRE, which you can imagine we don't make any money. So we don't have any money. So it came out of somebody's pocket, and I'm here today to ask for it back because the check got cashed. And so it is a community event. There's only 4 of us. It's a community event that we invited CERT to come in and be a part of, and we gave them their booth for free when it's normally $35. So I think that they got a huge amount of exposure. It's really great.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You're part of it. Yeah, that's great. And we buy food for the vendors as they're checking in. This is all out of our dime. We have porta potties, 2 of them, to accommodate the crowd. We set out toys for the kids to play with. We even have an electronic whack-a-mole. I mean, it's really professional. We have our flyer. This says 5th annual, but it's really truly, it was the 12th annual. So we've been getting pretty professional, and it'd be really great if we could just not pay that $304 this year, or at least we could have it back this year so we can make provisions for next year if it's going to be something that we're going to see again. If you have to charge us, then we can kind of build it into the vendor fees.
We need to put it on the agenda for.
No, it is not on the agenda for us to take action today, but I'd ask the chief to take a look at it, make a recommendation, and we'll get back to you with your request.
Part of one of the biggest things that we've been doing as just this little team committee is getting IT. We get Wi-Fi for all these 45 vendors. And I just realized this year that the Pumpkin Festival vendors don't even get that along Main Street in Half Moon Bay. So, I mean, we bent over backwards to make this a really good event. And I'm going to invite you all to next year's.
Thank you.
So you said there were 45 vendors? Oh my gosh. And they would sell stuff? Or
Oh yeah, beautiful artisan wares. I mean, really beautiful things. And then we have one group from the county, adults with special needs. They do art and they sell it. I bought some things, but it's just amazing. We had a couple of food vendors. Moonraker came in and served it up, and we had Yo Soy Ceviche. They were featured on Check Please, really high-end stuff. And so we usually try to get like Sage Bakery in there to do the little pies, but they were booked. But we try to keep it super duper local. And then if we have to go outside of that, we do. But you're all invited to next year's. And it's hassle-free. I mean, it was the kindest, most gentle place to be in a world the way that it is today. There wasn't any talk of politics. It was just such a let your hair down, just go back to being community and remember why you love living here on the coast. But it was really like
So
a
you
party.
just walk right in and step right down and.
That's it.
everything down.
We have two stages, one on the west end and one on the east end, and we have five to six bands rotating through.
Wow.
Yeah, really good music, all local bands, so. Yeah,
We will examine your request and get back to you.
thank you, appreciate it.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you.
Could I ask, Chief, that, you know, I know that there are at least one or two charitable events that we are not charging. And it just seems to me that we gotta start being consistent. And I would just ask that we put on the agenda and make a recommendation back as to, I can't imagine very much money is involved. And really the time of the cruise is, that really is the key, but I feel uncomfortable letting one organization not pay and asking others to pay. So please put it on the agenda and get back to us if we can change something.
Did we have an engine there at the festival?
Hmm?
Did we have an engine at the festival?
No,
We
but
did.
I failed to mention that we do abide by the requirements, we have fire breaks.
Right,
Yeah, so we keep 2 feet between each booth,
okay.
and then we have two designated fire breaks.
So, thank you very much.
You bet, thank you.
Steve, did you wish to speak, please?
Thank you.
Made that impose costs on the sheriff's office without consultation. And then those impacts are cited as justification for stripping away authority. This is not fiscal.
That was not Steve.
Yes,
Please, Steve, go ahead.
okay, thank you. My name is Steve Stockman. Thanks for letting me speak. Really, I'll begin by congratulating the board and the staff for the completion of that 41 lot. And, you know, I think it came out quite well. I want to express appreciation for your kindness and including me in that day. I thought it was a huge success. I'm not here to really speak of that, but I'm here to speak a little bit about, you know, what makes that happen. And really the points of, for where there's improvement for the district and CAL FIRE to be a little bit, to raise the bar in our messaging and our relationships in the community. I think that project, and I was going to say some things at that event, but you know, I think it was appropriate to let that day be about the Lutz family and that memorial bench more than the accomplishment of the project. But and I'll begin by saying that what the CAL FIRE contract does in this community is very measurable at the high level of service it brings. So there's no criticism. It's more a perspective in ways that the level of service can be improved. Then the issue of messaging in the fire service or poor messaging or need for improved messaging is not unique to this organization. I think it's across the fire service, and there's some reasons for that. The way the fire service is structured, the way what gets passed on to staff, the realities of what staff has to accomplish every day to just keep a high level of service. So, but I think we restrict ourselves in that way. I think having just a really strong website and a PIO those are today's minimum standards. I think every agency should have that. The coast side's a very unique place to provide service to. It's a very unique place to govern, because I think this community has the tendency to be more critical than most communities. But I think most people that are governing in any community would tell you, from city managers to board members and council members, that there's 10% that's always upset, there's 10% that's supportive, and there's 80% that are indifferent. So the key, I think, for an agency is try to reach that 80% wherever you can. The fire service is unique because you're not producing a product. there's not something to sell, right? It's not like a company trying to get out their message of their product. But what you do have to do well is some storytelling, and that story of 41 was an opportunity to do some storytelling. And that was done through the website. I think it was done well at the unit level also. I didn't see much in the media. And I think for that to happen, you have to build relationships with the media and you have to be out in front of it. You have to tell them a month from now, hey, this is a good story. This is what's happening, and this is why it's unique to us. The other thing about that project was to commend the board. You worked with other agencies, and it was multi-agency. It was a good story for everybody. And I would encourage the board to continue that, to look for opportunities ahead of time, whether it's the new 44 or anything that comes forward. The media also has a tendency, they want to usually know two things. They want to know when there's been a disaster and when there's a story that makes people feel good. So I think if you just approach it in those two simple points, the feel good part, everybody wants to see that. Excuse me, I rushed to do my notes at the end, but I hope I'm making a strong point. I think the board needs to have an expectation to staff. It has to come from that. I don't think the staff, it's hard for the staff to do this on their own because there's just too many balls in the air. But I think of ahead of time, if you can do what you already do well, is to tell the fire chief, hey, this is important to the community. Can we really put some emphasis on that? When it comes from the board, it has a lot more strength. I don't think we should rely on staff to come up with all the messaging. And then I think as a final point or perspective to address the staff, from what I know from my own experience, is this messaging usually falls to the PIO or it falls to a deputy level of staff or division chief. And that works, but those are sometimes some of your most overloaded positions too, or high expectations of achievement. I would hope that you reach out. I think agencies that are successful that reach out to every rank, find the best people in your ranks that can do that messaging and ask them to do that. Let them build their own leadership skills, give a little more authority to them, can still have the whole process where it comes through staff, but that's just one recommendation where I think it would be effective with the realities of what you're trying to achieve on a day-to-day basis. So again, I appreciate you letting me come up here for a community member and just offer that up. From my past experience with you, I'm pretty hard-lined on messaging. It's not something that I'm bringing up for the first time. So I'll continue to be here when I see there's an opportunity to encourage you to do that. But thanks for your time and listening to me. Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to the consent calendar, and the recommendation committee is asked to be refused. Do I have a motion to accept the consent calendar?
So moved.
Dave moves, I'll second it. Any comments? Roll call, please, Jean.
Director Cockrell,
Yes.
Director Hannah,
Yes.
Director Cheryl. Yes. President Burt.
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0-1.
Moving on to continuing business. Item A, review and discuss the approval fiscal year final budget. Chief Wilson.
All right, so before you, for continued business item A, the staff is recommending that the board of directors accepts this report as presented. And that you review and approve the final budget for fiscal year 25-26. So a little background here, this was presented a few months ago as our preliminary. We did make a few changes and I'll go through those from our preliminary. And I'll just jump into the changes. So some of the changes from what you saw 2 months ago is that the PERS contribution was actually about $476,017 higher than was anticipated. So we pay that in a lump sum each year. It's already been completed. So there was an increase there of about $500,000. We increased the equipment maintenance by about $100,000 due to some facility repairs that are needed. Insurance premiums raised, so we made sure that we accounted for those. We did increase our public education by $10,000, pretty positive increase, and we are doing a lot more public events. So we want to continue to be able to provide those type of products to the public. For apparatus and equipment, we increased that, and that is for outfitting the new engine that is scheduled for delivery this year. And we increased structural improvements to allow for the remodel of the kitchen and upgrade of the generator here at Station 40. And then for equipment and apparatus, there was 1.57, and that is for the possible purchase of the water tender we have discussed. The Type 6 engine to replace the ones that are aging out, and the 2 additional fleet staff vehicles. And then for lands and structures, it looks like for Station 44 project, there's about, and Ryan, correct me, but about $800,000 rough estimate of increase of costs based on the walls that will need to be built and some other
Additional services from PPK and some other stuff related to the retaining wall.
So we took the remaining balance, which was $741.50, and allocated it towards that line item, which historically, or 2 months ago, we talked about moving this remaining funds into a PERS buyout account, but it has all kind of been absorbed in additional costs at this time. So those are the proposed changes from the preliminary. And everything else is in front of you, and I can answer any questions.
Before we get to that point, I'd like to open a public hearing with any member of the public like to speak on the subject of the 25 budget. Any member of the public? Hearing none, I'll close the public meeting and ask the board questions, comments. I have a couple, but let me begin, Chief, with just first of all, just as a general observation, we're coming, the district is coming reasonably close to some 20 years in existence as a coastside fire protection district. And during that time, we as a district have never had a price increase. And at the same time, we've renewed our fleet. We've built one station, we're building another, we've built fire training towers and done numerous other things, but we've never had any kind of an increase. And if you look at the news today from the local government, so forth, everybody is asking for some kind of an increase. And I'm not sure whether warranted or not. That's my point. We have not, and we've been able to get by. Good deal of that credit is due to the CAL FIRE contract. I think a lot of it is due to the fact that a previous board merged the Point Montero and Half Moon Bay that gave us some efficiencies. And I think a little bit of the praise is probably due to board actions over those period of time. But nevertheless, we've been able to do it, which I think is somewhat unique in this business environment. Chief, the one item I would like to ask relative to this, and that is that we had previously had what I think it was called the analysis of all our capital expenses. It would list the status of the various engines and various other capital expenses we had. And it would show the lifespan. It's a document that has been in existence of someplace in the file, but I'd like to have that updated. And I would like to have it presented to the board, and certainly before we make any expenses in terms of water tenders or that type of thing, I'd like to just see where the heck we stand. You know, when you wait 2 years for an engine to arrive, it's kind of tough to keep track of, you know, what's new and what's old. But I think that analysis would kind of give us a sense of financially where we are as few other things. You know, quick comments I'd make is that among all these figures that it should note that the revenue over expenses for 24 was $3.7 million plus, and doing that. there is $8 million in this budget for capital expenses, if you will. That is for Station 44, water tenders and some other things. There's a major capital expense going on, which is fine, it's covered, we understand that, but it is in there. The other interesting thing is because of the monies we have in late, they're projecting something in the area of some $900,000 in interest revenue that, you know, was not in the past something that we would have. So that would be a very positive thing. And before we, let's see, before we ask for approval or any other comments, let me make two additional items I'd like to suggest. And that I'd like to add that I spoke to this in June, that we had a confusion in terms of the operating expense that's in the San Mateo budget. In the budget, if you will, it omits or excludes that amount of money, but yet in a spreadsheet, it adds it. Actually, it's just the opposite. Do it. But I would like to ask that by the time we get another spreadsheet in another month, that the operating expenses is now listed with the county goes to Lake. And that was actually approved by this board in June, but it just didn't get done. So I'd like to make sure that that happens. And it would be still labeled operational expense available to the board of the district to do what they want to do with it, but get it out of, it was put into the county at the suggestion of a prior chief, and he thought it would give us more flexibility. It's been there for years and never used. So I'd like to have to do that. Secondly, the second point I'd like to ask that you do, and that is that in the last meeting, we talked about creating a CalPERS exit fund in Lake. And this is how I'd like to ask to do that. I'd like to take, let me back up a little bit. For Station 44, if you look at the money in Lake and you look at the money that's in this budget, it's some $21 million. And which, based on what we know, is probably excessive. What I'd like to do, or suggest we do, is to take $2 million from Lake, existing Lake $15 million, and change it to a new label in Lake that says CalPERS exit. And by the way, we also in June approved setting up an account for that. So I'm just saying how we do it. You take $2 million, which is now labeled Station 44, which I think we've got excessive, simply label it CalPERS exit to begin the process. And those are the two suggestions I have. I also had one other thing. I think it's important to get a CalPERS exit fund started. It'll take years, and probably we won't be here to do it. But this is the way we started the PAS account that handled healthcare. I mean, we'll build in over the years, but I think just to get it started is important to do it. The other point, I'm sure the board knows, that all the money in Lake is fungible. If there's ever any kind of an emergency, we can move money around, but at least label it. With those two suggestions from me and the comments from the chief, anything else from the guest, please again?
Do we think that Station 44 will cost $2 million less than the 14.9 projected?
Well, if I'm going on, first of all, if I recall correctly, and please correct me, that we had kind of a temporary, I think, or a preliminary figure from Sean that had something in the area of $14 to $15 million that was projected. Now, there are additional costs, I understand that, but I don't think it's $60 million more. It's to answer your question, I think that moving those $2 million will not harm Station 44, and if by some reason it does, we can move it back.
Even without any sort of fee increase?
Yes, without any fees.
Director Burke.
the operating expenses identified in the county budget is $2 million, so when we transfer that into the lake, would you like that just reallocated and renamed?
Yes,
And then we had talked in the previous meeting in June, we have $990,000 of undesignated,
yes,
and you had asked about moving that into that.
yeah, I think it. However you move it, if that's the question, is fine, but the end result is what I'm looking for. There's $2 million in that's labeled CalPERS and exit, and the mechanism to get there. All right.
Got it.
We have a motion to approve the budget.
So moved.
Second.
Any further comments? Roll call for Eugene.
Director Cockrell?
Yes.
Director Hannah?
Yes.
Director McKimmy?
Yes.
Director Cheryl?
Yes.
President Burke?
Yes,
Motion passes 5-0.
thank you. Moving on, item B. Facilities District number 38, 303 Airport Street, Chief Wilson.
All right, so B and C are similar. Last month, we started the process, and this is the continuation of that process for both CFD 38 and 39. So first is CFD 38, which is airport. These have now been on file with the county record office, so we're moving forward with a resolution for formalization and initiating the special election.
I make a motion to adopt resolution number 225-47.
Second.
Any comments? This is pretty standard. Any questions? Roll call for Eugene.
Director Cockrell?
Yes.
Director Hannah?
Yes.
Director McKimmy?
Yes.
Director Cheryl?
Yes.
President Burke?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Item 2, motion to adopt resolution number 225-48, calling special election or levy of a special tax and establish appropriation limit for District 38. I move approval.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please, James.
Director Cockrell?
Yes.
Director Hannah?
Yes.
Director McKimmy?
Yes.
Director Cheryl?
Yes.
President Burke?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Item 4, Community Facilities District number 38, Big Wave, Chief Wilson.
So this is the same as previous. I will make one note that in our documentation from last month's meeting, we mentioned that the square footage was 24,000 feet of mixed use. It is actually 14,000 feet of mixed use. That doesn't have much going on the process, but it was a clerical error that we had, and we just wanted to correct that for Big Wave.
Very good. Any discussion? Do I have a motion to approve resolution number 225-49?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Roll call, please, Gene.
Director Cockrell?
Yes.
Director Hannah?
Yes.
Director McKimmy?
Yes.
Director Cheryl?
Yes.
President Burke?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Moving on, motion to adopt resolution 225-50, a resolution calling for a special election for the levy of a special tax appropriation limit for the Coastside Fire Protection District, Community Facilities District number 39. I move adoption of resolution 225-50.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please, James.
Director Cockrell?
Yes.
Director Hannah?
Yes.
Director McKimmy?
Yes.
Director Cheryl?
Yes.
President Burke?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Excuse me, President Burke, I don't know if Sid has a hand raised, I'm not sure what it's in regards to.
Is there a member of the public would like to speak on this subject?
Yes, so you
Sid? I don't see it.
I saw the unmute. I found it. I just wanted to ask on the Big Wave project, is that just for the wellness center or is that for the entire parcel with all the future commercial buildings as well?
So that's specific to the one building. The
Okay.
CFP will be assessed to all additional structures as they're developed.
Okie doke. Thank you. That's my only question.
Thank you, Sid.
Sure.
Moving on to new business, review and discuss, consider approving, fixing employee health contributions of retired representative safety members, retired non-representative safety members, and non-representative miscellaneous members. And before I ask Chief Wilson to speak to this, Director McKinney has asked to be recused on this. Chief Wilson?
All right, so before you is three resolutions, 51, 52, and 53. And this is to correct the contribution. So CalPERS advised that there is going to be a 5.03 increase effective January 1st of 2026. So these resolutions amend that so that we can move forward and pay appropriate.
Just as a point of information, the fees for this as well as the increases are paid out of our PAS account. So this is not an increase in any financial thing on us. This is just a normal yearly healthcare increase for the. Well, taking them one at a time, do I have a motion to adopt resolution 225-51? Second, moved and seconded. Any discussion? Roll call, please, Gene.
Director Cockrell?
Yes.
Director Hannah?
Yes.
Director Cheryl?
Yes.
President Burke?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0, recused.
Item 2, adopt resolution 225-52. I make a motion to approve. Second. Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Roll call, please, Gene.
Director Cockrell?
Yes.
Director Hannah?
Yes.
Director Cheryl?
Yes.
President Burke?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0, recused.
Item number 3, adopt resolution 225-53. I make a motion to approve the resolution. Second. Any discussion? Roll call, please, Gene.
Director Cockrell?
Yes.
Director Hannah?
Yes.
Director Cheryl?
Yes.
President Burke?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0, recused.
I can't help but just make a quick comment that prior to pause in our creation of that document, this kind of thing, discussing this would have taken a long time, this board meeting. Pause has just saved us just unbelievable, not only money, but time and effort to get it done. So there's a back one. Moving on, resolution item B, tab 6, resolution amending the agreement with BK Architects and Chief Wilson.
All right, so I'm going to turn this over to Sean Rose, but a little background is that Sean has recommended the execution of 2 additional service fee proposals with BBK. And I will turn it over, Sean, to you to give the background and answer any questions.
Sure. Thank you, Chief Wilson. Can you hear me okay? I'm calling in, not at a computer. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. Yeah, so as Chief Wilson said, this is 2 additional service requests that PBK, your architect for the Station 44 project, has submitted. One of them is for the temporary Station 44, and the other one is for the permanent Station 44. The smaller amendment request for the temporary station is for them to provide construction support services during construction, which we were just informed by our contractor Andrini is scheduled now to start on October 6th. So that's great news. That's great news, and it's a short 6-week construction. So we should be ready to bring out the modular building and get going on the move-in. But for the temporary station, the PBK amendment, which is a small amount, would give them budget to support the project through construction, reviewing RFIs and submittals, and helping us negotiate change orders from the design team. The larger amendment for the permanent station, the reason for that request is that the permitting process for the permanent station has taken considerably longer than was originally proposed by PBK under their original contract. That's through both the planning process that culminated in the planning commission approval, and then the building permit process, which is ongoing. We're currently in for building permit now. So the timeline that has been extended, and that was not envisioned in their original proposal, so an adjustment is appropriate. The other reason for the request, there were 3 specific items of work that we listed in the staff report that were completed that were not in their original scope of work. Additional geotech work, and additional retaining wall around the 501 Stetson property, and one other item that was listed. So that amendment gives them budget for all those items I just mentioned. That would be amending there's 2 contracts here, 2 separate contracts that they have, one for the temporary station and one for the permanent station. This would amend both of those. and I'm available for any questions you might have.
Board members? Yes.
Hi, Sean, Cynthia Cheryl. My question is about the retaining wall. We always knew there was going to be a retaining wall there, that there would be, earth moved. And that we were gonna flatten the site in order to be sure that the sight lines of a taller station did not interrupt the neighborhood. Why is the retaining wall new news at this stage?
That's a great question. The original retaining wall that they envisioned in their original proposal was a shallow foundation wall, whereas the wall that they're required to design is a much deeper T-footing foundation. And so that required additional structural engineering costs and their geotechnical report had to be amended, for the additional wall design.
So would it be fair to say that the wall now is going to look a little bit more like 41? Where it's a taller sort of rock wall look?
I've been out to station, I wasn't involved in the Station 41 project, but I've been to the site, obviously, for the South Lot project. The ones I've seen, the taller concrete retaining walls
Right.
around 41, yes, it's more akin to that than the original walls that they were envisioning.
I think the wall looks the same. I think they're required to put more engineering, more strength and more depth in the ground, and what's the difference? So I think when they started proposing the stuff to the county's like, hey, with that height of a retaining wall, with that much earth behind it, we're gonna require this much. So then they came to Chief Cox a few months back before he left and said, hey, the county's requiring more than we originally expected on this. So we need to do thicker concrete, deeper footings and blah, blah, blah. So it created additional costs. That's why I understood it.
So the real difference is not gonna be on the top side, we can see it's gonna be the bottom side.
I think just
To hold the whole
structurally,
thing up.
I believe so. That correction was mainly just structurally more sound than what they were proposing originally, which cost more.
Yeah, there's additional rebar design inside the wall, and then also just a deeper foundation. Those are the two big changes.
Thank you.
Sean, is the wall gonna be gunite like 41 or gonna be poured in place?
No, it'll be poured in place concrete.
Okay.
Sean, are you recommending this, that we make this change?
Yeah, I think the amendments, I've reviewed them and I've been working closely with PBK as your project manager. I think their request is appropriate. I think it's accurate in terms of the amount of time that additional time this has taken through the permit process. And so I am and some of the work was just out of scope. So yes, I am recommending approval.
Approval would take more time. I mean, that's just unusual.
Yeah,
They say that in big time just.
If I may, Sean, Director Hannah, some concerns, I guess, or questions either. One in regards to the wall, doesn't seem like anything, Cynthia kind of touched on, like anything really changed from where we started to where we're at, but now the wall has to, obviously hold back more foundation. So it seems like there was something about that doesn't quite fit. And the other part too, as well as, time and time waste or length of time to get permits. I don't think anyone in this room or anyone that's, at least 3 decades old or has gone through any process, everyone knows that it takes time. So I don't know if they really underestimated or is this uncommon length of time? I mean, I know that years can go by to go through building and planning for anyone. So I just want to understand, just for the bigger picture of like, to not have this happen every 3, 4, 5, 6 months. Hey, we need more money. Hey, we need more money. As we know, projects always wind up more than they start. Whether that's cost of materials, cost of labor, cost of your contract with the architect. So I just want to fully understand this, that we're still, before we even break ground,
I think this, if I could speak, I think this money's in regards to something that we didn't anticipate in the project. So when Director Cheryl and McKimmey and I and Cox met with them, we never anticipated the temporary station, including PBK, never part of our bid process. And then so we thought, hey, we're gonna get a lot, we're gonna put a trailer on it, The guys are gonna show up, I can park the fire engine, they're good to go. The county changed that plan a lot. So then it became to where, oh, you need a site plan, you need an engineer this, you need an engineer that. Well, PBK was kind enough to start that process for us to keep moving forward. And they said, hey, this wasn't in our scope, we're gonna need a little bit of money. Then I think we approached that probably over a year ago. And it just went a little bit past their scope. So I think that's where we're at today. Is it went a little bit past the scope, and that's what Sean's saying is they're pretty much done, I believe, after this request for that station. And then they're moving to the 44, which should be within the scope that we originally had requested and bid with them.
Well, I mean, again, touch on what you just said, I mean, their temporary station is 8% of what they're asking for, so it's a very minor portion of it, so. Again, I think obviously we all agree with doing this moving forward, I just wanna make sure that myself and everyone here in this room is. You know, we keep an eye on this, because it tends to balloon, you know, and understanding why. The time frame perspective is what kind of confuses me, because everyone knows it takes a long time, so.
Well, if it goes up, we told why it goes up, they can't just go it up and, oh yeah, we'll pay that. No, you're gonna have to justify, I get that.
And
If I read this correctly, Sean, the increased cost in this recommendation is $108,000,
Plus 9,000.
correct?
Yeah, that's correct. 108 for the permanent station.
Yes.
And then 9 for the temporary, so.
Yeah. Any further questions or comments?
Yeah, so it was the county, Gary, maybe you can help me out here. It was the county that said you need a bigger foundation, the engineers for PBK.
That's where, is that correct, Sean? That's where I understood it was when they originally bid it. They bid it based off of something different, and when they got into our county and started working on the project, they realized that there was stricter requirements or something like that. Is that how it is to be explained?
Yeah, it was within the design team. It wasn't the county. Because the county, just now submitted their comments on the building permit, which is where you would get structural comments. This came through the design team assessment of what needed to be done at the site. And so it was just a different assumption about what needed to be done. It wasn't a county requirement.
So 13. Yeah.
Further questions? We have a motion to amend the agreement with PK Architects for additional cost of services on Fire Station 44.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and second. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Director Cockrell?
Yes.
Director Hannah?
Yes.
Director McKimmy?
Yes.
Director Cheryl?
Yes.
President Burke?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
The kind of echoing a comment that was made earlier, it would just seem to me that good business sense for a public organization would do everything in their power to meet schedules, be on time and not delay things and so forth. Everything that you seem to try to get done is always subject to delay. And as you mentioned, Patrick, it's expected, but it shouldn't be expected. It should be done. Get that off my chest.
I agree.
Okay. Moving on. Item 7, review and discuss and update the Board of Directors strategic plan. This was on the agenda in June, and I just postponed it to add the budget and also to see if there's any kind of activity or any kind of comments that any of the board members I just had a couple of minor things, but is there anything that any board members would like to suggest? Or I would, while you're thinking or looking at it, if you would, Chief, if you'll notice on the back of this on item 24, we've done that today. So I'd like to have that moved up to the accomplishment. When does anybody has a guess when we're going to put a shovel in the ground on 44?
Sean would have the best guess on the actual after we tear down or prior to tear down. You talking about just starting the demo process?
Let's say when we tear down, when is that going to begin?
From what Sean and I were talking about earlier, you're looking at first of the year, Sean. We don't be able to start in that process.
He left.
No, he left. Okay, so he was saying,
They get into the year, if plans are approved and,
We're in the 26.
for sure into 26. Yeah, we're not, by the time we'll be lucky to get into the 10th station before the end of this year. And once we get them moved into there,
Please change.
then we can start that
item, the
process, but-
initiative to the first quarter of 2026. So we can
yes.
hopefully put a stake in the ground to do that. And the item 25 is an old item, and I would, at some point in time, like to ask a opinion or from the chief and staff as to whether our vegetation management is worth the effort. We've talked about it in the past. As I recall, we're the only district that has that kind of program. At least one CAL FIRE chief mentioned that it was probably the value of 1% or less in terms of fire prevention. And if we can continue doing it and all that type of thing, but if it's a way to reduce the effort on the part of the staff collecting it and doing the work, just a recommendation. I'm certainly not gonna oppose it one way or another. It just strikes me as that we gotta look at it, see whether it's an efficient thing to do.
I think Fire Marshal Griffin missed some of that. So Director Burke was saying, is vegetation management worth the effort? And that's something that would be, the fire marshal's office they know how much effort it takes and how much work's involved with that and how much reward and return comes from that. So I mean, his office could speak better on that than the rest of us.
It is a impact to the office. I will say it's beneficial to the community. What happened was when the last time we had I think it was a 3-year vegetation management plan, is a lot of those properties then turned into weed abatement after we removed the larger vegetation, which then ties into our annual weed abatement program, then adds more loss. And then it's a public outreach component of people who didn't have a weed abatement lot before and now do, and then are being assessed that, the properties changed ownership and we're not noticing the right people.
I'll leave it this way. If the staff thinks that it is not a good use of our people and time and money, a recommendation to the board to take action on it would be appropriate, and we'll deal with it at that point. Last item that I have on this, and I'd like to add on it, that the board to qualify for a district of distinction again in 2025. I think our district of distinction lasts 2 years, and I believe we're due to get it renewed. And you really, when you go to the California Special Districts Association, you see the very few districts who have that award. I mean, I think it's meaningful. I mean, it causes attention and it shows that we're doing something not only to the attendees, but I think to the public and the citizens here in the coast, that we're, acting in their best interest. And I'd like to have that renewed, and that takes some effort to bring that in. Anything else? Cindy?
I had a question back on vegetation management.
Yes.
If we don't do it, right, if we say, this is outside of our scope and it's a lot of trouble, a lot of expense, and we're not gonna do it, who is gonna do it? Who is gonna manage the excess vegetation that presents a fire risk if unmanaged?
The landowners are required to maintain their property. And then they could be, through code enforcement, fined for not maintaining their property. So that would take the onus off the fire district of our responsibility and our man hours, when it's ultimately their responsibility. And then they could just be turned into code enforcement, which is what the county fire site's done for years and years and years. That's what they do. They can't possibly drive around to how large this county is and find all the properties. So they basically do 99% of it off of neighbors' complaints and things like that, and go to code enforcement.
Code enforcement then goes to the VA's office and the VA's office pursues it.
They have their own citation forms, code enforcement does, and they notice them, and then it goes from there. And it'll go to court, it'll go as far as it needs to go until it gets paid.
Do we have any idea of how many cases actually do go through that process and are then finally taken care of in some way, shape, or form?
I do not counting them. Cause we do it different over here, so, and then we don't really follow the county side through, we just notify code enforcement and it goes from there.
Just concerned that it actually doesn't get taken care of. It
Yeah.
doesn't seem to be a high priority in the DA's office. They've got other things they're prioritizing ahead of it. So, yeah, I know it's a problem, it's a burden, but at some point, it's gotta be taken care of, because the idea of unmanaged vegetation, is how we got to the Caltrans situation up north, and we do have, of course, based on our new farm maps, a considerable responsibility to manage our woolly land in a responsible manner. So I'm not sure that we're the right person. I'm not advocating that person or entity or agency. But it would be good to have a clear understanding of how it is going to be done.
Sure. I agree. I think we should have a clear understanding of how valuable it is and what it's doing to stop it. And the little pieces that I've got, heard, if you will, indicates that it has not that much value. But I would rely on these people to tell us, because we're certainly as a board, I don't suspect we're ready to get rid of it. We just want to make sure that it is valuable and we're spending our money in a good fashion.
Right.
If I understand, President Burke, you were mentioning we'd have this on the agenda, we'll discuss, maybe we can get full discussion, details on the question answered and.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
You know,
answer both Director Cheryl's
this is
questions.
redundant as heck, but when I heard we're the only district that has this program, I said, what? No, it just doesn't, it would seem that somebody else would have the inclination to duplicate.
Well, it was a worthwhile program, of course, everybody would have it,
Yeah,
you know, it's important.
anyway, but we'll get it back on.
There's also.
Sid, did you have a question? Sid?
Thank you. I do want to weigh in on this because I live in the unincorporated area where there are quite a few vacant lots, and a lot of them are absentee lot owners. So you never see them out mowing their lots. You know, I mean, I keep mine mowed because it's next to my house, but I think it's an advantage to have the fire department inspect and send out notices and, you know, threaten to mow it for them if they don't. And I believe you have done that to one of the absentee lot owners that I sold the property to back when I was in real estate, and she didn't mow it and it raised up her property tax bill. But I can't imagine the county getting involved in that, really. They might go out and do a code enforcement, but I don't think they're going to collect the money or do the mowing. And I think it's, for me, as a homeowner out here in Seal Cove, it's just one less thing I'm going to be concerned about, knowing the fire department's got my back as far as my surrounding neighborhood lot owners that are not mowing their lots. And I think it's really important. And I did have a question too, since you've recognized me. I didn't see on your list of accomplishments or future proposed accomplishment. Did you guys get your water tender? Is that still up in the air?
It's on the budget, in the budget.
So you will be getting one, basically? You voted to get one?
We have not voted on it. It'll
Oh.
be discussed at
Okay.
the upcoming meeting.
All right, because I consider that to be an accomplishment if you do get one, especially with the Caltrans right away in the back of Montera and also the El Granada Quarry Park stand of eucalyptus. So anyway, this is off topic completely, but I really drove into El Granada the other day and saw your guys' vacant lot there next to the station. It looks fabulous. Thank you. That's it.
Thank you, Sid.
Sure.
By the way, did you get a letter from the county thanking us for building a sidewalk for them? You didn't get one?
Don't hold your breath.
Oh. I thought all right,
It's in the mail.
moving on. Finance, the committee, finance, the spreadsheet is in your packet.
I would mind still add to the strategic plan possibly. I'm not.
I can't hear.
I'd like to make a comment on the strategic plan.
Oh, yes, go ahead.
Just waiting for everything to.
Yeah.
Down there. I'm not sure it is a strategic plan initiative, but honestly, inspired by Steve Stockman here and his. I think very credible and both I agree with information on making sure we do a better job of reaching out to our community, both through the basics of a quality website. And the PIO office, which we kind of share with the CAL FIRE world in the county. I think that we are missing an opportunity there, and it may not be a everyday thing, but for the 3 or 4 good news things and or information on bad news that may occur, I think it's totally value added, and I've felt this way in my time on the board as well. So I don't know if that is a strategic plan thing, but I feel like if we put it on a document like this, saying, you know, we can work towards, I don't know what it is, we can discuss at some point, but a better media interaction with our, you know, people who live on the coast and media itself, and how we look at doing that. So I know the website hasn't changed an iota since I joined the board 3 years ago. Aside from new information, I mean, just how it looks, how it functions, how it interacts. I know we've done an annual brochure, we've done a few things, but I would call them the basics. I don't know if that's a strategic plan thing or not, but.
Chief, I'd look for you to say if there's other things that could be done. To better inform, I'm not sure that I use the word promote the district, just to inform a citizen. But I know there's a information officer that is there, if there's ways that can be managed different, add things to it. I think the board would be receptive to doing something, but I would look to you to tell us what it is. If we need to, I don't know, hire somebody to update the website or do some other kinds of things that. And you know, I did, I've been surprised a couple of times, right? I think I mentioned this in one other meeting that when people were reading about wildfires in some places, and they were very surprised that a crew from Half Moon Bay went to these centers. And they suggested that having that kind of up-to-date information on a website kind of would be informative and helpful to the citizen. But whatever you think that would be done, I think we're receptive to it. Okay, all right. Moving on to the reports, financial report, the spreadsheet is in your packet. It's only 2 months here, so it isn't very indicative of what's going on, but we have the water tender is in the budget. We've already mentioned that. We talked about getting a capital equipment sheet and analysis, and we've already, CalPERS has already paid. The CalPERS payment for the year has already been accomplished, so thank you. Other than that, there's no comments I have on the finance. Anything? Moving on. All right. Volunteer committee report. Director Cockrell.
I don't have anything, you have anything?
I know, you know.
No report.
No report.
Land and Structures Committee report, Director McKinney, Director.
I think we went over it.
Yeah, I think Sean addressed it with the first round of comments for the permanent station came back from the county, and then starting to break ground October 6th on the temporary station, so. Definitely moving in the right direction, finally, it seems like.
Vegetation Management Committee, Director Cockrell, Director Hannah.
No report from me.
I would just say, President Burke, that since we just discussed a little bit of vegetation management topic. If we're gonna have a committee, we should, you know, set a meeting for said committee and gather this information. Otherwise, we do it as a board, that's fine. But
I'm sorry, I missed the point.
we just discussed the
Yeah.
amount of vegetation
Yeah.
management, weed abatement primarily. Falls under that category, and you have a committee for it, we just haven't utilized said committee in my 3 years, so I'm saying maybe we should. Or
Yeah.
get rid of the committee. So,
Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or if the staff comes back with some kind of recommendation, it would go to the committee to discuss it.
And it predates my time on the board, to understand why there is that committee. But again, we haven't.
But honestly, I don't remember.
Okay, well, my point is, again,
Yeah.
we should utilize it, and since it is a topic that has become.
Good point.
But fires are always gonna increase. And unfortunately in this part of the world.
Good point. Special District Association, Director Hannah.
Yeah, actually joined this last month's meeting from the conference, the annual conference in Monterey. Which I know President Burke was there just prior to me arriving. And it was a good conference, as they usually are, and I think Director Burke has mentioned in the past about how it's really nice to hear a network and get some perspective on other districts, a lot of them not being fire, but I would say this year I noticed a lot more actual fire apparatus around both hotels, and there was a lot going on. That was a bit more than I've seen in the previous 2 years that I've gone to them. And there was some quite good speaking on behalf of fire related topics. Some kind of in the world of discussing, how information is shared and how we're helping each other. And I know we've had some conversation on this board about like a fire safe council for our region, even though there is a San Mateo one, that should be something local to again, reach out to the community. One of the things, and I'll just say this, one of the things that this gentleman suggested was, don't just stay in your bubble, right? Because we do have a San Mateo County one, make sure that you're either reaching out to them, if you can do something local, to be part of what is your border, because your border, right, is also the fire risk. So we all know fire doesn't stop at borders and county lines. So anyways, there was a great point, and there were some really good topics on it. So it was a great annual event.
Great.
And report.
Thank you. ALSJPA, no, there was no meeting. In fact, there is no meeting scheduled till next year. Emergency preparedness liaison report, Department of Emergency Management. Chief husband on that? Oh, he's on?
I'm here.
Great.
I'm just trying to get my camera on. Since last talked to you, I think we've built our management team. We have we've added Nelson Cordway is going to be a manager. He's also going to be the co-site coordinator. He just retired from Hillsborough Police Department. We also have David Passy, who is formerly worked for HUD. He worked for NATO, and he worked for FEMA. So a lot of good experience there. And as far as for the fire board is concerned, we did a tabletop exercise at the Oceana Hotel that you guys participated in. I designed the tabletop to be a large earthquake in the Aleutian Islands, and then just prior to it, the one in Russia took place, which got a good amount of people to sign up for it. We involved all the law enforcement, fire, parks, harbor. We involved the schools. We involved hotels, restaurants, Chamber of Commerce. So we tried to cover all the little injects we got from the December 5th thing, where schools are getting out, tourists don't know where to go. We did a tabletop exercise where we discussed lots of activities. This scenario actually had impact where there was damage to the infrastructure, so people had to consider what they would do when fire hydrants get knocked off and seawater goes into the water system. The boil waters orders have to be issued. Septic systems can't be used. The sewer system can be knocked out. So quite intensive on the scenario, and we just did an after action on it and still processing that. So was pretty intensive, and we got a lot of good input out of that. We've done a lot with alerts and warnings. We had Dr. Janine Sutton from the Warn Room come and talk. Ryan was at those, or Chief West was at those. Just kind of a new way of making sure that message goes out in the way the public understands it, trying to avoid jargon, and a template of how the information should flow in the alerts and things like that. So it's a learning experience for all the first responders, emergency managers, and all that. The all hazard evacuation program, our plan, we've done things with Genesis, which is the evacuation platform for the zone notifications, with Ladris, which is an AI component that planners and first responders can use to look at how long it would take to move people out of an area. So a lot of work in that. So continue to do that. Lots of engagement on the coast with volunteer and other organizations. Elkis Ranch, we just did one with the Medical Reserve Corps today. So a lot going on the coast for preparedness. And that's the end of my report for the fire board. Thank you. And the the El Granada improvement is amazing. I love it.
Thank you, Dave. Any questions? No, thank you, Dave.
I think Sid Young has it.
I do. I have a question for Dave mainly. Dave, you mentioned the Ladris software and I watched the April Emergency Services Council video where they had the guy come to give that I guess you would call it a demonstration. It was very minor demonstration. He picked one tiny neighborhood in Hillsborough and it said on their system it would take them 45 minutes to get out of it, just down to the El Camino, it sounded like. But they, at the end of that presentation, he said the software was gonna go out for testing to all the different cities and various community organizations. I don't know who's doing it for the Midcoast. Do you? Is it the fire
Yeah,
department?
it's gone out to, I think each organization, each city has, because it's paid for by the JPA for the Emergency Service Council. So
Right.
each city and the county can authorize people to use it. So it's gone out to a number of people on the coast.
So I don't live in the city and I'm just wondering.
No, it goes
if-
out to the emergency managers as well. My coworkers here plan for the unincorporated area, as well as the fire
So-
department, the sheriff's department.
So the fire department's taking the lead on testing that software for evacuating the Midcoast in the event of some disaster?
Well, their work, Captain Chichoff from Law has been kind of the front runner in the all hazard evacuation program for your area.
So he's with the city of Half Moon Bay's, well, I guess
No,
he's the sheriff.
he's the coastal captain. He goes
Yeah.
from Devil's Slide all the way down to Santa Cruz.
Oh, lucky guy.
But yeah, this is for the fire board though, so I'll leave it back
So
to them.
he's testing the emergency evacuation software on behalf of the Midcoast, basically.
Yeah, we've
the
been
up-
working with them regularly.
Okay, he's the only one though. It's not gone out to other people on the Midcoast.
I don't have a list. I'm not on that program, so I don't have a
Okay.
list of who's using it.
All right. I don't want us to be forgotten because we're the ones in the log jam here, especially if tourists are involved. Thank you. I'll reach
Thank
out
you.
to him. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Sid. Moving on, Sid, what's again?
CERT is busy. We graduated 30 certs, all in Spanish, on August 30th. It was the first we've done this on the coast side. Our instructors were all homegrown on the coast side. They were individuals who were beloved and respected in this Latino community. We learned our lesson for 6 years, that we just can't go in and say, I've got some answers, let us help you. You've got to go in and gain the trust of the community and then be led by their leaders and support their leaders. And that's exactly what we did. It was the most exciting CERT program that we have ever participated in. And the graduation, I wish you all had seen it here in this room. Unbelievable. Supervisor Ray Mueller came on his wedding anniversary to be a part of this graduation. The mayor came, Mayor Half Moon Bay, another council person came. All of the council persons will be certs by the end of fall cert on November 15th. The group worked very hard during the day, going through 4 rounds of hands-on demonstrations of skills, and then they had a team disaster simulation they went through. And then it just became something that was part of the culture. There was a celebration of the instructor that involved had swords come up and make an alley. There was one of that for him, and he went through that as a proud son of Half Moon Bay. He's an interesting individual. He's been through a lot of trauma in his life where he could have gone the way, he could have gone a different way. And instead has gone the way of having himself educated in public safety and in mental health and become a leader of his community really through love as opposed to hatred, which was an option for him. So he gave his people courage to get on that bus and come to the fire station and take this course. in the midst of a time when many people were warning us, things could happen that would be unfortunate. We could be targeted. It wasn't gonna go well. But it did. Because it was also his 30th birthday, his family said, let us provide the food for the luncheon afterwards. So we said, sure. This whole area was filled with a feast, a buffet like you have never seen. More food than you could possibly imagine. And then there was dancing. And then there were people who were part of our CERT class. There were 3 young women. This whole thing was grown out of Moon Ridge, the Moon Ridge neighborhood. There were 3 young, Norma Miramontes deserves tremendous credit for this. She's the Iron Fist in the Velvet Glove that told 46 people, I want you to line up and do this, and 30 of them actually graduated. So she deserves enormous credit. And these 3 young women are the future leadership of Half Moon Bay. They were just extraordinary. But then they stood up with their families and their musical instruments, and they played for us. There was Happy Birthday in about 7 different languages, and it was just joyous. Nice, we had nice graduations. They're dignified, people were proud and pleased, and then they go home. This group just spread a joy on the coast side that we've never witnessed before, and it's because it was theirs. It wasn't ours, it was theirs. So I was ready to do a mic drop and say, thank you very much. That was I'm all done. That was really something. Tonight, and then Tia Sylvia Hernandez brought the wedding cake. It was a Tres Leches cake that was, 3 feet square. And it was like a wedding cake. It's unbelievably delicious. Anyway, the whole thing just went on and on as a cultural celebration. Not to say to the people who did this, you're a historic first. None of your citizenry have ever done this before. We are so proud of basically ourselves that we pulled this off, and we did it in difficult times. So we had 5 different public agencies supporting us through this. Samtrans, City of Half Moon Bay, ALAS provided transportation. When their buses got here, fire services opened the security gate and the buses were kept safe inside of our security perimeter. I mean, everybody just went out of their way. Samtrans sent a security agent on board the last bus, so it was come on, think nothing. Tonight starts the Great Coastside Shakeout. This is a one-of-a-kind thing that happens on the coast side. It's a coastside-wide earthquake drill and radio exercise involving multiple agencies who practice as though we've had a large earthquake. And this idea, David Casper began this is the 6th year. Tonight there'll be a webinar. We have 234 people signed up for it from the various neighborhoods, where he will explain what an earthquake on the coast side could mean. There's a video that runs that is an earthquake drill, and then he does the background science of the earthquakes. And then neighborhood leads from each of the 32 neighborhoods will be talking about what their neighborhood is doing to participate. So it's a big deal here on the coast side, and it starts tonight with the webinar, and then Saturday from 9 to noon is the actual drill and radio exercise itself. And we'll be at the Coastside EOC, Emergency Operations Center. Will be opened up for the exercise, and we'll have representatives from all agencies there. That'll be fun. Fall CERT starts October 29th. We have 77 people signed up. We're supposed to have 35. I'll keep working on that. And then that graduates on November 15th. By the time that happens, we will have more than 550 certs on the coast side.
Wow.
It's a huge team. Today, after the MRC meeting, CERT was over at the high school to recruit high school students. We've had 14 for CERT to train them for CERT. The high school has really gotten behind this program. We have 14 graduates so far, and we have 7 signed up for this coming fall CERT. So This is how our teen cert program has evolved. And the involvement of these young people in emergency preparedness and response is something that is very important to this neighborhood, I mean, to this whole community. And we're proud of them for standing up and coming to a 20-hour class. They do get 20 hours of community service credit for doing this. In the report,
Thank you. Yeah, exciting times.
very exciting.
You know, when you mentioned the dancing in
Yes.
the room here, you know, if this room could talk with what's gone on over the years, everything from dancing to fighting and everything else, it would make a interesting novel. Yeah.
And we are grateful for this facility and acknowledge that the State Fire Protection District, its personnel and its facilities made this happen.
Thank you, Cynthia. Change report,
Nothing, thank you.
fire marshal's report.
Good evening. For the month of August, 24 plans were reviewed, 19 inspections conducted, and we are moving forward with our business inspections and mandatory annual inspections. End of report.
Thank you, Patrick. Before I get on, just one other thing, I just want to mention for anybody that's interested in a packet each month. I know the board looks at this, but detailed information, statistical information on a number of calls, inspections and so forth. A number of volunteers involved, all of that is detailed and is available as a public information if anybody would like it. Well kept and very, very promising. Thank you. Moving on.
Sorry,
Fire chief's report, Chief Wilson.
I just had a quick question.
Oh,
Do you find that realtors are contacting your office to ask if a person wants to sell a property? What are the specific things they have to do to be sure that it's fire safe and qualified to sell?
Yes.
And are you like conducting educational sessions for real estate agents?
No, we do not conduct any educational sessions. We have information that's provided to them either by us or by our headquarters in Fulton.
Okay,
That has that information for them when they chat with us.
so it's a report or brochure or something. Thank you.
And sorry, if I may just say one more thing, because I feel like it's so pertinent in the discussions we've had today. And with Director Cheryl and her very obviously deserved proud moment with her first Spanish speaking class. This is another opportunity to do extraordinarily better at messaging to our community. Because one thing I do know is nobody watches this. And so it's great that we now know, and I thank you for that, and you hear the story and you heard all the details of it. But no one else is gonna know.
Well,
So here's another,
in the defense of the public messaging here, we asked because of the safety concerns for the students.
Sure.
That the supervisor and mayor and everybody else who knew it was coming, say nothing
Well, but I mean, after the fact.
until it's after done and all the students are home safe. That was our strategy on the messaging, and it worked.
Maybe you can get with Michelle Dragon and go side by side.
There you go. There you go.
okay.
Yeah, I mean, I put you guys stuff up all of the time, and I covered the sidewalk, so I just sent you an email, Patrick, if you want to follow up with me.
Very good. Thank you. Chief.
All right, so for August, we rated just under 300 calls. The average response time in the district was 5 minutes and 40 seconds, so that was staying well under the necessary timeframes that are allocated under the ALSJPA. The Station 41 South Lot event was wonderful. There was an amazing turnout. Dave was a firefighter for me, so it was a little special for me to see that recognition of Dave. And I just want to thank everybody who participated and came out and spoke. I think it was a great event and the community really liked that. Temporary Station 44 is moving forward on the labor management side. We're going through all the paces to make sure that we are ready once we're able to have the keys to move employees in that they've been noticed, and that is moving along. And then we did, it was mentioned, notifying the public that we have an engine out of county. We did send an engine last month out of county again for 10 days, 14 days. They're right around there. So, we will do a better job of making sure we publicize that. And for PARs, last month, we earned 72,000 and we distributed 22,000 roughly with the distribution and expenses. So we were in the positive, even with that 5.3% mentioned earlier. We are still looking very well funded in the account. And there are no new agreements. If there's anything right, I'd like to add, more than welcome.
Chief?
I have nothing to add.
Okay. I just have a question. There was a article in the Mercury News, I believe it was a week ago. It had to do with the automatic sensor that was scattered throughout California to recognize fire and smoke and to be very automated. And my question is there with that in San Mateo County?
Yeah, so Alert California cameras are located throughout the state. We actually have a pretty good view shed or coverage of the watersheds within San Mateo and Santa Cruz. And I'm actually gonna be meeting with Alert California, I think it might be next Tuesday, to look at any blind spots we have. And see about adding additional cameras. And those have been beneficial for us of their AI technology. And it's an anomaly prior to, either if it's nighttime, someone's not gonna possibly see it, or during the daytime, it can sense an anomaly for an 911 call, so.
Perfect.
And if you go on Alert California, you can look at all of the cameras and view them. And see that.
Yeah. Quite a improvement from the old fire towers.
Yes.
And binoculars, yeah. Anything else? Any other comment? No objection, we're adjourned. Thank you.